Hello, hello. Happy July 19th. Happy Monday. So glad to be here. We have some big stuff going on really around soul history and kind of purging right now and the power of our choices as we move forward through this phase of awakening. So good morning, or afternoon. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer just to let anyone else who wants to come on here. So while we're getting ready, let's just take a moment to settle into our hearts, to begin to listen with this part versus this part as we continue to progress and evolve our way of operating in this world. The ask is for humanity to really interface with life from this heart-centered place. It just has a profound level of intelligence that actually kind of surpasses that of the mind, and the brain actually works to a significant degree with the heart and the information that comes in through this other center of the body, this intelligent center of the body. So take a moment, rub your hands together, and then just bring them in to your chest and feel the pulse, the heartbeat of your body flowing through, bringing life, following the top and the bottom of your breath as you drop down, dropping your awareness into this now, letting go of anything that no longer serves. And just feel it melting off as you open up the chakras, the energy centers in your feet, growing roots, and begin to synchronize. Use the infinity loop, the figure 8, to synchronize your heartbeat, the pulse of your body, with that of the core of the earth. And feel it flow up your body. And we're just setting the intention here that this take place. You might feel it to a certain degree, but if you came back to it a few days later, you might feel it to an increasing degree as you practice. So this is about practice. It's about a devotion and dedicating yourself to coming back into your body, taking up residence where you perhaps have lived so long outside of it. So many of us, through dramas in our life, live outside the body and kind of operate at a distance, either kind of jumped ahead in the future or sitting back in the past. And just by centering, the centering practice brings us into the present moment, greatly assists with clarity, calms your physiology because it's now not being stretched, dealing with past time unprocessed or future time unmanifested fears or concerns. You're here in the now, and it's deeply soothing. Imagine yourself sitting on your favorite place in the earth, listening to the sounds, the smells, feeling the grounds beneath you. Taking a look around, just really immerse your senses and calling any part of you from all dimensions, time, and space back into this now. Magnetize it in, just like we feel that gravitational pull of the earth that gently tugs us down and settles us into the earth. Magnetize your light, your life force, any past time stories or future time projections, call them back in highest alignment to your body now. Yep, and already I'm watching the hemispheres of the brain begin to settle, and really it's just about chilling out. Yep, and so it's like a statue that's either tilted forward or back or leaning backwards. When you come to the center, you have all four corners of that statue on the ground, and it's just much more stable. There you go. All right, so this is a place to be in, to begin to listen. with a different type of intelligence, with a different set of ears, let's say. Okay, so I'm not sure how much I have to say about all this, but I just wanted to come in here to give everyone a touchstone for what's happening. It's been intense. The month of July has been intense, and it's not going to necessarily let up. For those of us who are doing the work, this is prime time. This is our chance to really make the most of the opportunities at hand. So it can feel like, someone mentioned to me, like feeling like drowning, feeling a lot of overwhelm. You're not alone in this. I mean, I too myself have like been in these moments of extreme overwhelm, in duress, trying to figure out how to operate, where to go, not seeing any freaking clear path. And the message I've been consistently getting is that it's not about the end result right now, y'all. It's about the being in the now moment. It is about the path and the choices we make. A lot of divine feminine and masculine energy is being balanced or harmonized in our body, or figured out. Any wounds around that type of connection, or any of the extremes, the polarities of duality that we play out here, they're coming up to really be looked at. And let's just talk about that masculine and feminine and how we move through the world. So you might have had lifetimes, or even in this life, where you played a particular role that might have been more defined as more masculine versus more feminine. And I understand there's a fluidity to it all, but in the yin and yang, in the splitting up of creation to come into duality, there are these characteristics that define the masculine versus the feminine. And you can label them differently if you like, but it's more just the aggressive doing, kind of fiery energy versus the deep, quiet, expansive, dark, moist kind of energy of what I'm saying, masculine and feminine. And those, as you've dripped down into the various lives that you've lived, you've played out different configurations. What's it like to be extremely express the extreme of this masculine split, or the extreme of the feminine, or in between, or having the inside out, and the kind of the weaving of the two together. And what the ask is now is just to find a harmony, to begin to find a balance with all of it, and to heal. And so if I'm going to use a symbol, it'll be that figure 8 right now. That's what's happening. But in the process, if you break it down, it's like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, it's all falling apart, it's all falling apart, it's all falling apart. Oh my god, I had to climb this really big hill, and then here it goes again. And then, you meet the middle. Oh, okay, I have some clarity, it's coming back, and then it's falling apart, falling apart. And so just knowing that there's going to be a weaving back and forth, and that's okay. That's okay. And so the more in your times of crisis, as you're going through these, you're going to have, more than likely there will be like mini healing crises. The more often you can just check in with yourself, not label whatever is going on, and kind of remove yourself. Be the wise observer, the greater it will serve you, because the less you attach to however the story is playing out, your system can then intelligently heal and figure itself out. So I would encourage you, when you find all of your buttons being pushed and your triggers coming up and you don't know where the hell you're going or what's up from down, you're okay. Congratulations. You're in the middle of opportunity. It feels like shit sometimes, and here you are. So the grounding, neutral separations, breath work, those 3 things will serve you well in varying degrees. And then non-labeling, just the observation in quiet moments. But there's going to be days where you might have 6 different situations happen to you, or 6 different versions of your reality. You're okay in the morning, something happens and whoa, you feel like crap, and then you start to pick up again, and then you get anxious, and then you can't sleep. There's many different iterations that are working through. It's rapid fire. I've witnessed, like, in 2 days, what historically would have been 3 weeks worth of stuff build up in people, just because we are moving through our stuff so quickly. So this is definitely a time to get support if you don't already. Even if it's just a friend to listen, but I would encourage you to have somebody who is that neutral observer, someone who can help you direct and be productive. This isn't about recycling. If you want to recycle, the path is asking you to step up and move on from the recycling. Okay, so what's going on? What I've been seeing is there's tremendous opportunity for us to connect into aspects of ourselves that have been inaccessible for a very long time. That means that the underneath, so this is the potential or the aspect that has been kind of shored away, we are having to excavate, and there is just layers of stuff and story that have accumulated over the eons. This isn't just life on Earth. This is galactic here, and multiple lifetimes here, where all of this stuff, all this accumulation that is separating us from that potential, that aspect of ourself, our power center, in a way, an aspect of our power, it's all coming up, and some people are seeing it as like flashes, in like a movie reel. Sometimes it's just this emotion that just kind of is like, its hot breath is just like in your space all the time. It might be the reliving of a loop of a pattern, of an emotional pattern, especially like if the depression's coming back, or the darkness is coming back, or the heaviness, or I'm so sad again, or the anger is resurfacing. Well, what is happening is the root of some of that stuff is actually making its way through. And how I've been seeing is like it's like a conveyor belt that's pulling up stuff from like in the mining. It's pulling stuff up from deep within you, and it's just asking to be put into, let's just call it the rubbish bin, to be witnessed, but really not to label it, because we're mining for gold here. We're mining for the gold that is within us. Okay, so let me say this as well. The choices you make have a significant impact between now and August 13th. I don't have any supportive astrology for that. It is just the information that came in. Feel it out for you. But for the next 3 weeks or so, the power of your choices are magnified. What I see is that for a certain set of souls who are really here to wake up, we can take these lessons, these certain aspects of our soul identity that we've been working on. Let's just say with forgiveness, let's just imagine our whole soul personality is a pie, and we have a slice. So our challenge is to work on forgiveness and acceptance. And so those two pieces that have followed us around for lifetimes, those two components are going to come in really strong, hot and heavy right now, and all the different versions of how forgiveness and acceptance played out in your various lifetimes. So it'll probably come up as a mishmash of just unrecognizable energy, but your brain might try to label it. And this is just where you have the quiet time work, you do the self-care, you connect in with using the tools that you have. Sometimes it's just as simple as breath work or being still, and giving yourself permission to have whatever come up. So use this time wisely, because we can really alter timelines and how much of ourself we bring into this world, into our bodies to light up. I had a download this weekend, and it was around kind of the work I do and the people that my soul supports or is, asked to support. And what I realized is like we're all like glowworms. If you remember the 1980s little worms that they're stuffed animals, but there's a TV show about it. Anyway, you would turn them on and they would light up. But what I see us as glowworms, where a lot of our lights were dimmed. And the opportunity, especially in this now, is to really raise it up and grow brighter and brighter and brighter. So even going beyond the capacity of the original glowworm, where we actually can illuminate a room, a town, a city, etc., and really go bigger. So we're in tremendous times here, but just know that the impact of your choices over the next 3 weeks, August 18th, has almost like 10 times, it's magnified, just 10 times the effect. So if you're looking down, you're going to go down, and you're going to go down 10 times the speed and the intensity that you would normally. If you look up, you're going to go up. You're going to fly, you know? And if you look forward, you're going to hold course. But it's a much more assertive, it's just more assertive and maybe intense time. But if you know how to harness it and maintain your grounding and get your support, you're going to thrive. This is a time to thrive. You don't have to suffer, but there could be honesty. You might be asked to be honest with where you have suffered, where you've held yourself back, where you've played small, where you've played victim. And the opportunity is to change that around and have the challenging conversations with yourself to lead to your ultimate and deepest freedom. So take that in, and the last thing I just want to say about this is it's the little things here. It's not about solving any problems. It's the one simple thing that you can do each day. Give yourself space. Have compassion for where you're at. And don't try to change the situation. Just be with what's coming up and don't label it. And when something comes to a head, state your intentions that you choose the highest timeline, the highest and best for all involved, firstly, including yourself. And then be willing to do the thing that will help transform the current situation. When it comes to a head, you do all the little steps. When it comes to a head, be willing to have the conversation, take the action, do things differently, try something new. Reverse or turn around your go-to response pattern. And it's hard sometimes, when we want to feel sad and kind of melt down. The ask is right now to lift yourself back up, breathe life into yourself, and kind of begin to open up into life. So if the tendency is this, we're being asked to do the equal and opposite. And, that's going to be the configuration for you. It'll be different for everybody, is my point. But just use this image. We're being asked to really open up here. And I tell you, again, the dividends will pay off tenfold in what you invest here and now. And it's not even about investing and paying off. It's just, here's the freaking opportunity. And here's the space to do it. What are you going to do with it? And I guarantee you, when you go and you do your life review, once you leave this world, you will be so grateful. But you have to have that real conversation with your soul self. And your soul self is so much closer now that you can do that. You just gotta spend the time, listen. Even if it's like 5 minutes before bed at night, do your neutral separations, clear the space, set up your space for sleep and to receive the highest healing at night, receive any messages, and then just be open to connect with your highest self. This is all about intention. Not everyone's going to feel the call. Your significant other, the friends around you, some of them, they just might want to continue to live their life as it is. That's fine. That's their journey. But know that those of us who are sensitive souls, who feel something different, who feel a call to be different, you're here to do things differently as well. And so it's not going to be what the rest of the herd is doing. And that is okay. And you have a group of other souls who are doing the same thing. It's just they might not be in your immediate vicinity. But get connected, get into community, and I guarantee you this will accelerate your processing and development when you do, because you're going to be connecting in with these ancient kind of communities, tribes, circles, healing groups, priestesshoods, gods, goddesses, however you want to call it. And there's probably many different versions of it, but you're going to be connecting in with all these different parts of you. So when you not parts of you, excuse me, you're going to be connecting in with parts of your community. So if you actually tap into a physical community in this world, you know, whether it's virtual or not, I guarantee you at least one or two of them you will be soul familiar with. They'll be part of your soul family. I would be surprised if they weren't. With the way things are going now, we're just getting more and more, the accessibility is just greater. We're not as spread out now, and our communities are able to come through, and really we need each other, you know, so we can do the work, so we can hold the space for the world as it continues to transform and shift. We are holding together realities as we come together, and I witness that we're bringing in ancient timelines, we're melding them with current timelines, and then changing the whole story. It's very powerful, and when that happens, you have the ancient timeline, and there's still some stuff that didn't get processed. You have this current timeline, and all the stuff that hasn't been processed, and it comes together, and it says, holy heck, we've got to change a lot of things. There's a lot of limitation or old belief that needs to break apart so we can really begin to expand, express ourselves, and be the full, I guess, expression of what it can be, and not living within the confines of history. Okay, so with that being said, I want to talk a little bit about couple offerings, couple pop-up offerings, and I'll probably do something in the stories. One's going to be a group healing on Wednesday. I'm going to decide on a time, but it will be around, there is an access to a bandwidth of worthiness and then unconditional love, and it's going to be different for each people, but I'll take you almost like to these two streams, and there's an opportunity to go and like bathe, saturate yourself in these two streams. And when it came into me, like for me a few weeks ago, the type of shift that I had, it was very profound in how I related to the world and how I saw myself. And from that point, when I was able to kind of get into that stream of worthiness, the way I interacted in life started to shift and change, and I grew bigger. I felt more stable and expanded within myself, and then these new messages, new information could come in, and ways I could show up and be more expansive in the world. And that's the ask for all of us, because also as we expand and go bigger, then we can receive more of the messages without the shit show and it kind of breaking us apart. So this is all about expanding and supporting your expansion. It'll be a 45-minute call, group healing call. It'll be on Zoom audio, so no one has to, you know, show their face. You can just sit back and receive. I might give the option to do like a chat at the end. We'll see. And there'll be it'll be $33 for the 45 minutes. Second offering is I'm opening up one space. This is all I have a room for right now, for one kind of deep dive intensive guidance, what's the right word here? I'm losing my words. It's a one-on-one month-long immersion, essentially, with one person. They'll have access to me through Voxer, you know, throughout the week, throughout the month, and to discuss their journey. So a lot of times you have a session, a one-on-one session, and then you're kind of left to deal with the things on your own. And sometimes that's fine. It's important to develop our own skills and to practice, but things are so intense right now. The ask was for me to open up one space for this to be an option. I don't normally make myself available like to that degree, but there's someone out there who needs that. It's not hand holding. I'm not going to hold your hand. I'm going to walk beside you. And as you see things along the way, we will work through them. I will point out how they see. We will activate your skill sets. We'll have two one-on-one sessions during this time. So it'll give you something. We'll do deep dives into one-on-ones, and then I'll be there on Voxer, and you just talk it out. We work it out, and you will be on a new footing by the end of that period. The option will be possibly to continue, but right now it's just going to be a month long to get you on a new platform, because so much of us are in transition. So we were here, we were asked to move here or here, and there's just the squirrely in between, and it can be so awkward. and unknown. And all you can do is just kind of hold your space. And for that one person who is feeling like I can hold my space, I'm willing to own my story, but it would be so nice to accelerate this path and to be deeply supported in doing it, and like celebrated and supported and nurtured along the way. This is for you. This is the offering for you. So I will put that info up on my stories. As usual, check out our Saturday group Healings with me and Mel, and all the link information is in my bio as well. All right, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon. Be well.